This is the show where you guys submit questions or struggles or anything you're working on in terms of high performance, in terms of personal development, in mindsets, psychology, anything that we can do to improve your life, to help you be more successful, to help you achieve your dreams a lot more quicker. More quicker? More, a lot quicker. It's a live show, folks, so I'm gonna make mistakes. Anyways, today I'm going to tackle a question that I've been getting on a lot of different fronts from clients, from submitted from you guys, on how do I, improve my finances. And I have to say that one, I don't know. I honestly don't know because everyone's situation is a bit different. So, but I can talk to a couple of different things that might be helpful. But always talk to your tax professionals, talk to your financial advisors, or anyone that's a professional that can actually give you advice. I can only share what's worked for me because back in, I graduated college in 2007 with a graduate degree and an undergrad degree and about $80,000 of student debt. And so this is something that really bugged me for quite a while because there was a time early on in my career when I was working at Walmart where it was literally like picking the bills that I needed to pay. I'm not sure if you've ever been there, but where it's like, do I pay gas and put gas in the tank so I can get to work? Do I pay for food? Do I pay rent? Do I pay my student loans? And like I didn't have a bad paying job, as a software engineer at a multinational corporation. But it still wasn't covering all the bills that I had, even with the cost of living in Arkansas. But it was mostly the student loans that kind of did me in. And I just remember being so stressed out about money all the time. And I know a lot of people today are stressed out about money all the time because of the economy right now, with a lot of the lockdown stuff having impacted a lot of stuff and people losing jobs, people losing family members. There's a lot of struggle going on right now. And I know I always talk about at least trying to acknowledge that because I don't want this to seem like it's like, oh, super optimistic, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And, that's one of the messages I got growing up. So I do believe that if you put your mind to anything, you can accomplish it. But it comes off as kind of tone deaf if you're like, I just lost my job. There's no jobs around. What do I do, man? So I want to acknowledge that. And so when it comes to improving finances, generating wealth, there's a couple of mindsets that really come in to play. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon that everyone should read. It should be like required reading in high school, I think. But it's just a bunch of parables about money management, and it's really, really useful. But, the number one mindset that I think people get wrong when it comes to their finances, and me personally too, is this idea that when you have any type of cash, like what are you spending it on? Are you spending it on things that will give you a return on investment, so an asset? Or are you just throwing it away, right? You take a big fancy vacation, you buy the big fancy car with the big sound system, and you live in a tiny apartment, So those types of things. So kind of getting that mindset around how am I investing money to work for me instead of just kind of giving it away. And there's stuff that you have to give it, give or money away to. Like there's no return on investment on groceries, other than you don't die, right? So there's not always a number value to the things you spend your money on. But that mindset of how can I get more of my money working for me is really good. David Bach has a book called The Automatic Millionaire, and that book talks about how to pay yourself every month if you have a stable paycheck in order to, start saving money. Because if you can save money, you can invest money. If you invest money, you can start to improve your financial situation, or you could weather hard times, right? I know, there's so many people right now, I believe, that wish they would have saved more when times were good, or could have saved more, Sometimes people live paycheck to paycheck too, and that is no joke. But so this mindset of how can I get more assets or get things that are paying me from using my money more was a big mindset shift for me when I was dealing with my student loans. Doing that automatic savings so you can have a little bit like, I remember the first time, even though I was broke and like eating like the $25 mac and cheese from Walmart consistently, or just like I get like a $20 like pound bag of rice that I would eat for a whole month because it was super cheap. When I could chip away at my student loans, so I had to pay a little bit less every month because I was paying as much as I possibly could. I kind of became a little obsessed with it. Or when I was able to then kind of shift that into saving a little bit more, and I had like $1,000 in the bank for emergencies or whatever, how much of a relief that was on my psychology. Like, that was really good. So that automatic saving part from David Bach is really, really good. Really something awesome to hang on to. And then if you have problems with credit cards and stuff, Dave Ramsey has some really good information on kind of getting rid of credit cards, because that could be a big trap for people if you don't know how it works or you're not really watching it. So if the basic rule there is in personal finance, I believe, is if you can't pay it off in a month on a credit card, don't use it. So it's not worth the points or all the extra stuff they try to get you to spend with it, because you can just bury yourself in debt. So those are a couple of different avenues to take. But really what it comes down to, there's this also a belief that in order to make money in our society, you need to either do something that nobody else can do or have a skill that's in high demand. And a lot of that stuff is kind of based on luck. I feel very fortunate to have come from a lower middle class family. My dad was a contractor. My mom took odd jobs growing up as much as he could. They both, pushed me and my brother into college. And even though I took a ton of student debt, I have my degrees, and it opened a lot of doors for me going forward. And then I was able to figure out the student loan stuff afterwards by just being singularly focused on it all the time, right? Me and my brother both had tons of debt, but we got through college. So, that... I forgot where I was going with that. But, I'm very thankful for my parents for pushing us in that way. I completely lost this is live, folks, so I completely lost my train of thought there. But, you can do all this training, you can do all the stuff, but I think what college can give, and anyone can learn this, and everyone has an opportunity to learn this by themselves, but we have an ability to learn and change very quick. And that skill is essential right now. The ability to think that, hey, okay, the job market changed, I got shuffled out of it maybe, or whatever happened. I can figure this out. I can reconfigure my skills. I can reconfigure what I'm doing in order to then make a change and, survive in the new world. So this kind of belief in yourself. I think that's the biggest gift education can give you at any level, is a deeper understanding of yourself and how you can show up in difficult situations. And I don't think people talk about that enough. But again, you don't need to go to college to learn that lesson. If you've met any entrepreneur, a small mom and pop shop that does fine, and the people are like, I didn't graduate high school, or I just have a high school education, you realize that your ability to act in the world and to change your situation is super, super important and valuable. So that would be another mindset to think that even if you don't have the skill set now, that you can change. I think that's a very American value. If we talk about things that, culturally that we share, that you can change your situation by dedicating yourself into a new path, into a new way of moving forward. So there's not really a hard, do this and your financial situation improves, but I do think personal development is a huge part of it. I think mindsets are a huge part of it. I think that just a couple of personal finance things. Like I said, Richest Man in Babylon, The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach, and then Financial Freedom from Dave Ramsey are just 3 other resources to check out if that's one of the things you're struggling with. And if you need help with mindsets, though, I want to let you guys know, since you're watching this show right now, if you go to SeanButler.com/mindsets, I have a free training on December 1st where we're going to go through 5 of the mindsets that hold people back and 5 mindsets that you need to adopt that all successful people have. And the awesome thing is this is a free training, and it's something that everyone can learn. So it's not dependent on your situation or what's going on right now, but it's really about looking forward into your future, what you want, and adopting the right habits and the right psychology to help you be more successful out in the world. So, so SeanButler.com/mindsets. If you want to ask a question here like this, go to SeanButler.com/ask. Again, check with all your professionals, financial and tax and all that stuff before trying to implement any of these strategies. But these are things that have really helped me, and stuff I don't usually get to talk about, at least on the financial side with clients. But that's stuff that I studied quite a bit, trying to dig myself out of that hole. And if you were wondering, I did end up paying off all my student loans in about 7.5 years, with some luck, with a lot of focus, and a lot of stress and sleepless nights. I mean, it's one of the biggest stressors we have in our life. So part of it, too, is also managing the stress that comes along with all that, the debt and money stuff. So hope that served you, folks. That's the only question I got this week for Ask a Coach a Question. And again, go to SeanButler.com/ask if you want to have your question answered next week, next Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Love to do that for you. And so hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you were able to connect with people, even if you might not have been able to be physically close. And I hope the best for this weekend. And definitely check out the mindset training that I have for you free on next Tuesday, right? That's the first. And I'm doing this too because, one, I get a lot of questions on mindset. There's a lot of this kind of stuff coming at me right now. So you guys get training on the most common questions I'm getting on that out in the world. And I really didn't want to sell anything today on Black Friday, right? So I just wanted to give something to my audience, give something to you guys for supporting me, for being cool, for being on the path to excellence and improving your life. So that's why I'm doing this. But okay, enough rambling. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.